the Zen Brain Podcast,
where we explore alternatives to psychiatric medication and strategies for conscious lifestyle change. Here's your host and philosophical entertainer, Michael Pierce.
Welcome back. In today's podcast, we're going to dig into binaural beats a little deeper, and we'll see some of the benefits that binaural beats have for our bodies and how you can get some of these binaural beats for yourself. Some of the benefits is that it's able to alter your mood. It's also suggested that it can help you stop addictions, get you pumped up for a contest, calm you down and put you to sleep, heighten your memory, turn you on, heal your headaches, and even balance out your chakras. And so if you walk into a spa or a massage center or something like that, you're going to hear some tranquil music. And although binaural beats are similar, they're a little bit different. And the underlying reason for using this type of music is similar, and so is the intended goal. Binaural beats are sounds that are supposed to stimulate the brain in specific ways. These sounds have been claimed to help induce relaxation, meditation, creativity, and other desirable mental states. The way the brain is affected depends on the varying frequencies of each tone. Each ear listens to these tones at different frequencies, so your left ear is not hearing the exact same frequency of your right ear. Now, this may sound strange, but that's the basics of what binaural beats are. The right ear may listen to 300 hertz, while the left ear listens to the same sound, but in a tone of 310 hertz. In order for the phenomenon to work, the low frequency pulsations in the amplitude and sound localization of the sound must be presented separately, and that's why it's really beneficial to use headphones. Also, just a side note, the frequency tones must be below 1000 hertz for the beating or the warbling to be noticeable. Also, the difference between the two frequencies must be small, otherwise the two tones will just kind of clash together and they'll sound like they're separate sounds. If you're listening to binaural beats, it's also interesting to cover up one ear, and you'll notice like the sound in you say the right ear will be just a single tone, and you switch, you'll hear just a single tone in your left ear. But when you put both headphones on, you'll hear that wah, 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 wah. That is actually an illusion that is made up by your brain when these frequencies are crashing together, and since it's happening inside your head, you've got that frequency in your body, and that's one of the reasons that it's so effective. And binaural beats have created a lot of interest in the neurophysiological world, where there is ongoing research and investigation in the sense of hearing. Binaural beats have been reportedly influencing the brain in more subtle ways to reduce anxiety and provide a variety of other health benefits as well. As I mentioned before, binaural beats influence the brain using brain waves in different frequencies to produce the effects you're looking for. And this is all related to the brain's hearing, the processing of the sounds, and then relating those sounds to the different body states. And you may have heard of these, some of the different body states. For example, gamma waves. Those are usually tuned to about 40 hertz, and that's great for problem solving and stimulating higher mental activity and perception. So this is a great one to listen to if you've got a problem you're trying to solve and you're running up against a brick wall. Chill out, listen to some gamma waves. Beta waves range in frequency from 13 to 39 hertz, and these are noted as an active, busy, or anxious thinking coupled with active concentration levels, arousal, cognition, and even paranoia. So not altogether desirable, but may have some purposes. Alpha waves are kept between 7 and 13 hertz in order to ensure the optimal levels of relaxation while being fully conscious. So it's like pre-sleep or or pre-wake modes of drowsiness, REM sleep phase, and dreamlike states. The theta waves are 4 to 7 hertz, which is ideal for deep meditation, deep relaxation, and it's right on the edge of falling asleep. If you can hold a deep theta wave, that's again a great way of processing and integrating any work you need to be doing. If you can get into a theta wave, that's a great place to deal with emotional stuck issues and put your attention on fixed beliefs and all this kind of stuff. The delta waves are tuned to 4 hertz, which creates kind of this natural inner self-relaxed state that encourages deep, dreamless sleep and loss of body awareness. This is, of course, ideal when an individual is seeking a complete disconnection from the awareness state and you're more into having an out-of-body type of experience. This really gets interesting when we start talking about DNA stimulation. The very basis or blueprint of each individual human being is the DNA, and it's proven fact that each person has their own personal unique DNA makeup and that no two DNA make up the same. Similarities are not uncommon nor unusual, and they do exist through family links and ties, but not in its entirety. So what happens in the body? Researchers have come to the conclusion that DNA is susceptible to damage, but thus far there's no possible way to gauge the extent of the damage, where the damage is, nor how to control further damage. There isn't really any real scientific proof at the moment to encourage findings of the possibility of repairing the DNA corruption. Many diseases like cancer, leukemia, AIDS, and many other life-threatening diseases are thought to be caused by a negative condition in the DNA makeup. Thus, the race is on to find a possible solution as soon as possible. However, for some, this solution may possibly be found in the promise of the use of binaural beats to address the problem. Fortunately, there is evidence that the body's natural ties to correct the faulty DNA condition as it detects it. However, outside added positive help can be advantages. Though not conclusive, yet there are very promising studies that have proven that the DNA makeup can be repaired through the introduction of binaural beats. The binaural beats are applied in the delta frequencies and have been documented as being the contributing factor in the repair of DNA. Even better is the fact that there are no intrusive procedures required, and neither does this process involve any pain. In fact, the whole process of being exposed to binaural beats is all of 30 minutes. Another wonderful point about binaural beats is that it can be used by anyone, anywhere, anytime. For most people today, getting a good night's sleep is a luxury. Now, reasons like stress, children, workloads that require a lot of energy from the mind and body are just some of the reasons that an individual may need to get a deeper sleep in order to rejuvenate completely. Binaural beats have been known to contribute positively to the individual being able to achieve deep sleep. The popular deep sleep recordings will assist the individual to fall asleep in minutes. Besides this, deep sleep induced will be continuous without any restlessness. Not being able to get to the level of deep sleep can be damaging both mentally and physically, as the optimum functioning of the human body depends on the amount of rest that you get for rejuvenation purposes. It's also just drastically lowering the strength of the immune system when you don't get enough sleep, lowers brain function and performance, and may even contribute to overweight conditions or indirectly cause anxiety from the lack of deep sleep. All these side effects will eventually manifest in the individual's daily work performance, as increased blood pressure levels, grumpy mood swings, and the constant state of lethargy. By using binaural beats as a technique to induce deep sleep, the delta waves will work effectively to guide the brain directly into the deep sleep phase, thus resulting in a long, deep, and restful sleep pattern. This in turn causes the body to regain and rejuvenate all the functions and the powers to ensure a more energized individual. There are many specific sounds by the binaural beats to induce the various different states of mind. For gaining deep sleep, the sound of the ocean gently lapping on the shoreline, coupled with binaural beats in the background, is extremely popular. This sound effect will gradually encourage the brain into deep sleep because of the low range frequency waves that are used. You can even heal addictions with binaural beats. There are many types of addictions today, and trying to beat them successfully and permanently can be an uphill battle for some. Too deep into the cycle of addiction, the individual may try many methods of sheer desperation, but may not stick to the method chosen for a long enough time frame to make any real changes. So by using binaural beats, the individual is able to continue with the fight against the addiction simply because this method doesn't require a lot of effort or regiments in order to achieve some percentage of success. Binaural beats work on the mind's brain waves to produce positive states in which the individual can choose to cope better with stress and cravings for whatever they're addicted to. Using the binaural beats, the mind is induced into a relaxed state, and this state is associated with the desire to quit the addiction using different levels of the brain that are now comfortable with the suggestion. The suggestion to quit the addiction is further reinforced when the individual continuously seeks and uses binaural beats. Each time a session is experienced, the mental reaffirmation is strengthened. In most brains, the activity movements are confined to certain areas that the brain connects to characteristics of self-defeating mental and emotional states. When this manifests itself as a negative addiction, then using binaural beats to reverse this line of thought and change it to become more compulsive and physiologically dependent on eliminating addictions, the success rate is assured. The process uses binaural beats to create a scenario where the brain's electric activity becomes widespread through the brain and creates new neural pathways which stimulate new positive thoughts and feelings as well as behaviors. Thus, with the renewed state of mind, the individual is less dependent on the addiction to achieve the similar but only superficial results. You can also stimulate creativity. The creative side of individuality basically comes from the spirit of the individual. It's this spirit element is what encourages the creativity aspects which constitute the freedom to explore and be free of inhibitions the otherwise natural thinking side would block. So the popular line of thought is that the spirit would never lead the individual into a negativity because the element of emotional stronghold is not dominating the thought process. So the binaural works on the brain waves to encourage a state of relaxation. This then allows the third dimension, consisting of emotions, to subside and allow the spiritual side to prevail. It's been found that the binaural beats are used in specific combinations of frequencies within the alpha waves, theta and delta ranges to trigger the creative element from within. Participants are encouraged to find a quiet spot to relax. Also encouraged is the posture of lying flat and listening to the binaural beats with headphones. This is supposed to be the best way to harness the quiet energy that causes the individual to be in a total relaxed mode. When this level of deep relaxation is reached, then the inner brain takes over and the creative juices start to flow. The mode of soul searching, mind blockages, brainstorming are also heightened so that the individual can now tap comfortably into the creative abilities within the new powerful mindset. Some of the common recorded physical effects of the mind reaching this relaxed state would be the inability to move freely due to the body feeling heavier, or just feeling totally relaxed from head to toe. A lot of people start getting visualizations or colors or patterns in their mind's eye, and some level of separation between the conscious and the subconscious is apparent. This is why it's so good for integration and healing. The levels of anxiety, stress, and tension are considerably eased, and sometimes the feeling of sedation or no feeling at all is recorded. So speaking of healing psychological issues, the binaural beats are tones that are the product from deep with the music score, like subliminal messages, which affect the brain waves and in turn the body. In addressing the elements of relaxation and healing physiology, the strength of the immune system and other stress-related problems must be controlled. The recurrence of physical and psychological symptoms can be arrested with the use of the binaural beats. And the reason is they give us the tools to control our perceptions of things and our surroundings. By quieting the mind and becoming connected to the inner self, the energy released is indeed powerful and capable of helping the individual use this resource for almost anything. Successfully gaining a high level of relaxation is only one of the positive elements derived. The specific sound wave of certain binaural beats allows the mind to also focus on healing psychologically. Some of the conditions need to induce the mindset to successfully bring about the psychological healing using binaural methods include improved levels of concentration, memory, and mental stamina, the ability to achieve a high level of quality of the meditative state, gives you the ability to harness the energy needed to address a specific problem area, and it boosts the immune system and other bodily functions and deepen that sleep and relaxation patterns. Being clear in the goals and benchmarks set for achievements, creating the happy, confident frame of mind needed to dramatically reduce stress, tension, and anxiety. It increases motivation levels, the ability to focus and solve problems. And in trying to achieve all of these states, the brain uses binaural beats to harmonically relate to the sounds made by specific frequencies to address specific characteristics in the individual. The brain can then fix onto the frequency of choice to induce the relevant outcome needed. The entrainment sounds, which enhances the relaxation, also adds another dimension to a productive and pleasurable experience. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about this deep meditation state. Seems like forever that music has played an important part in the human existence. For various reasons, music seems to bring out the best in most people when the music is to their liking, of course. But the binaural beats use this system to remind the subconscious and conscious levels of the mind on how to relate to smells, sounds, tastes, events, emotions, and the physical state. Binaural beats can be manipulated to induce the mindset to be open to connect with these feelings. The music used incorporated binaural beats and isochronic tones, we talk about in another podcast, help the individual to more effectively reach the desired deep levels of the meditative state. The superior focus is important to reaching the deeper levels of meditation. Alpha wave patterns help to relax the individual's state of mind, which is followed by the drowsy feeling while still awake and conscious. The alpha levels varies from deep relaxation. Since the alpha wave pattern is very receptive, it can be used to effectively induce self-hypnosis or reprogramming a subconscious and of course that deep relaxation. So affirmations and mindfulness meditations are great under these states of mind. The delta wave activity also is associated with deep, slow breathing activity found in deep sleep. This state of deep sleep can be switched to a very deep meditative state. The binaural beats stabilize and rejuvenate the body and mind so that with more frequent practice, it becomes easier and easier to reach these meditative states quickly. Some people who use binaural beats to relax attest to the fact that in spite of the short term spared for the deep meditative state, they can come away feeling extremely well rested and rejuvenated after just a short amount of time. Some recommendations of binaural beats are unexplainable store because of their high quality and low cost feature. The brainwave entertainment alpha easily induces the alpha brainwave, which also the individual to communicate with and influence the subconscious mind into a deep, gentle, and calm meditative state. So it's actually pretty easy to make binaural beats. It's a simple concept to follow. Although to make them really good and enjoyable, it does take some time and creative experience. But this is done by using pulsating sounds in 2 sets, which are played slightly out of sync, thus varying the rate of that pulsating beat, which can put you into that deep state of relaxation, and also complete awareness can be induced. Understanding this basic concept is how the binaural beats are created. So here's a few tips if you're wanting to do it yourself. Study basic brainwave frequency, the brain's aligned to. The beta waves are presented when an individual is awake and alert and fairly tense. This pattern ranges between 13 and 60 hertz. A more relaxed state would be the alpha wave levels, ranging from 7 to 13 hertz. And this is when the deep relaxed state is exhibited. The next level of deep relaxed state is between 4 and 7 hertz, which is the theta waves, as we mentioned before. And then, of course, the delta waves are the deepest level of sleep, which is anything below theta. After identifying all of this, you can download and install programs that make binaural beats. You can choose a multi-platform or an easy program, or you can sign up for psychedelic sessions and get more than just binaural beats. So you'll select the dialogue and then open to enable the consequential selection of the sound source. Some binaural beats are in a simple sine wave, or you can select like pink noise. Change the bass frequency, beat frequency, and the duration corresponding with the desired brainwave frequency. And you put on your headphones, just sit back and relax and allow the binaural beats to work its magic. Now remember to use good quality headphones, as this is a feature that will dictate the quality of the experience. Initially, it can all seem quite daunting and a little bit overwhelming, but with some practice, varying the choices made, it is possible to eventually get to the level where the binaural beats created will be very pleasing. So a few tips on how to use binaural beats properly, and a little bit of precautions you may want to take. There are several things that a person needs to take note of before trying the binaural beats method. Understanding the basis of this style is important, as it will have a profound impact on the choices made. The binaural beats and isochronic tones and monaural beats all share the common point of being connected to music, but understanding the differences will allow the individual to move forward. Generally, the brain is usually in the alpha brainwave stimulation level. Binaural beats manipulations help to change the alpha wave state to brainwave states. This is done through brainwave entrainment process. Also to be noted is that all of the different brainwaves coexist at the same time, but one can dominate, and this in turn dictates the level of consciousness and the state of mind the individual is in. Ideally, every individual should constantly have the correct alpha brainwave pattern, as this ensures the wholesome being of the relaxed and confident frame of mind. Being able to have the optimal alpha wave condition means that the body can enjoy body and mind relaxation levels, a creative mental state, free of all tension and nervousness. The individual problem skills will also be enhanced. The emotional and athletic performances can be heightened. Sometimes an individual can become overindulgent in wanting to maintain that constant and super form of alpha wave mindset. This can be dangerous, and it may end up causing negative side effects instead of providing the balanced mindset that you're looking for. Conditions like ADD may in fact become worse if binaural beats are used to create the desired state of mind. Indulging in the binaural beta practices too much can also cause a person to daydream and be disconnected. While this is positive outlet from reality, the danger lies in the individual's eventual inability to separate the two, and this could potentially lead to forms of depression. So to kind of sum it up, you're able to effortlessly and experience deep meditation, relaxation, expanded focus, laser concentration, accelerated learning, enhanced awareness, deep sleep, tension reduction, anxiety reduction, additional motivation, more creativity, produce new habits, and expand your energy levels. Sound healing and frequency healing is going to be one of the main tools in healing in the future. It's really good for integrating your plant medicine ceremonies or your retreats that have stirred up a lot of information and memories that need to be sorted out. And one of the best ways to do that is by entering in a deep relaxed state through sound and allowing your conscious mind and your subconscious mind to have a little gap where you can observe, notice, and watch what's happening. It's also helped to talk to somebody about these things so that you can just kind of speak out the words or write in a journal to help you collect your thoughts. But for me, sound healing is central focus, and primarily because I really want to help people to learn how to heal themselves through awareness practices and the use of sound. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
A lot of people may not know how to safely and properly integrate their psychedelic experience. They may be unsure of how to integrate the feelings and emotions that psychedelics uncover. Psychedelics are used by all walks of life. It is typically a safe and therapeutic experience. However, for those that do not know how to work with what's revealed in your mind and heart, it may not be as beneficial as one would like. A psychedelic sound healing session can help guide people on their own spiritual journey through sound frequencies, allowing them to sit comfortably in a safe space without any external sounds or distractions. Psychedelic sessions can take place in a group setting or in individual sessions based on what the individual needs are. These sessions can help people explore their inner self and integrate their psychedelic experience into their life more fully with support from experienced professionals. If you would like your own psychedelic sound healing session, click the link in the description.
Thank you for checking out today's podcast. Please like and share the podcast with people who you think it would benefit. On next week's podcast, I'll be talking about isochronic tones. You get to hear what they sound like, where they came from, and what kind of benefits they have to our body, mind, and our souls.